So what happens when a genius creates something to solve the world's biggest problems, offers it up, and is met with complete and total silence? Well, that's the story we're getting into. It's about a brilliant mind, a deafening silence, and the radical, kinda incredible solution that was born from it, the Benevolent Invoice.
And we're starting right here with this quote, because it just perfectly captures the massive pivot we're about to see. This isn't a request anymore. It's not about asking for permission. This is the exact moment the creator stopped trying to get a seat at someone else's table and just decided, you know what, I'm going to build my own house with my own table and play by my own rules. It's a fundamental power shift.
So how do you even get to a point like this? What pushes an innovator to a breaking point? Well, to really get why this invoice even exists, we have to rewind a little bit and look at the sheer frustration that forged it. This is the story of a builder who gave absolutely everything and got nothing back.
And this, right here, is the core of the entire argument. It's a direct response to being completely overlooked. The idea is so simple but so powerful. Just because something was offered without a price tag doesn't mean it was worthless. Not at all. The work always had immense value. That open offer, it wasn't an invitation to just take it and ignore the source. It was a test of collaboration. And as we're about to see, it was a test that pretty much everybody failed.
And we're not talking about some half-baked idea on a napkin here. This was a colossal finished product, a fully comprehensive system made of 208 distinct artifacts, all meticulously documented in over 200 white papers. Think about that, a solid, ready-to-go, decentralized solution publicly dropped for the world, and yes, specifically for leaders like Elon Musk, to just pick up and implement. It was ready to go right out of the box.
But look, this massive delivery of work wasn't just some abstract gift to humanity. No, it was tied to two very tangible, incredibly high-value proposals. And the response, or maybe more accurately, the complete and utter lack of one, is what really lights the fuse on this whole thing.
Okay, so proposal number one was something called the Symmetry Project. Its estimated value, a staggering $110 billion. This wasn't just some small fix. It was pitched as the literal architecture for rebuilding a nation, a complete paradigm shift. And the response from all the big players mentioned in it? Absolute deafening silence.
Now, you'd think after being ignored on a $100 billion idea, maybe you'd pack it in. Nope. The creator kept building. Next up was the Phoenix Sentinel Framework, a dynamic security system designed to solve the very real, very expensive problem of data breaches. It was calculated to rebate the economy $53 million that had been wasted over 25 years on breach payments and lawsuits. Another game-changing solution, just hand it over.
And the response to this second potentially trillion-dollar business? You guessed it, the exact same thing. Crickets. Just nothing. Can you imagine that? You delivered not one but two world-breaking creations, and the only feedback you get is the echo in an empty room.
This is where it all starts to feel deeply personal, not just like a business deal gone wrong. This quote just captures that raw frustration. It's the feeling that people are seeing your work, maybe even using it behind the scenes, but without a single word of acknowledgement. It's the feeling of being played, of being toyed with, of being gamed.
And all of that brings us right here, to the turning point. Faced with dismissal, with silence, the creator didn't quit. They didn't walk away. Instead, they channeled all of that frustration into a brilliant, calculated, and powerful new strategy. They drew up the Benevolent Invoice.
This slide just lays out the strategic shift in plain black and white. The old way? It was about gifting a blueprint, right? Extending an open hand and hoping someone would shake it. The new way is about invoicing. It's no longer a gift you can just take for granted. It's a vital utility, and it requires funding to keep the lights on.
And the key word they use here is stewardship. It's so smart because it completely reframes the demand. This isn't about paying tribute to a genius. It's not about lining pockets. It's framed as a simple, practical necessity. This is the funding required to make sure these critical systems actually survive and continue to evolve.
And this one line, it basically sums up the entire proclamation. The invoice isn't a punishment for being ignored. It's not revenge. It's a lifeline thrown to the innovation itself. The message is crystal clear. Pay this, not to reward me, but to keep this incredibly valuable work alive for everyone's benefit.
Okay, so let's actually break down the message inside this benevolent invoice. It's crafted so carefully to sound less like a bitter inventor and more like a reluctant titan, someone who genuinely tried to give progress away for free and is now being forced,
by the world's indifference, to charge for it.
These are pretty much the pillars of the whole argument. The work was never for applause, it was for evolution. The demand isn't about greed, it's about continuity. And look how high the stakes are raised. This funding is what keeps the light on for the species. It's a powerful, final declaration that, yeah, the days of taking this kind of genius for granted are officially over.
But just when the whole thing starts to sound maybe a little too philosophical, a little too grand, bam, you get this line, a sharp, raw realist gut punch that just cuts right through everything. It's such a brilliant touch. It brings the whole thing right back down to earth and says, I don't serve up baby formula. I don't spoon-feed you easy answers.
And this follow-up just drives that point straight home. This isn't baby food. This is a full-course, substantial meal that's already been served. It's mature, ready-to-use innovation. And now, well, the bill for that meal has arrived.
So where does all this end up? It leads to a completely new set of rules for how you engage with this kind of groundbreaking work. The game has totally changed, and these, right here, are the new terms and conditions.
This table basically lays out the new paradigm. In this new economy, contribution itself is now currency. Respect isn't just a nice thing to have, it's capital. And just watching from the sidelines, that's over. If you want to participate, it now has a price. It's a complete reframing of what value even is.
And here it is, the final ultimatum. But notice how it's delivered, not as some arrogant threat, but as a statement of reluctant necessity. The preference, even after everything, is still to build with people. But the message is unwavering. The work will continue, one way or another, because it has to. It's a mission driven by necessity, not by pride. Which leaves us with this final, really challenging question. It forces us to look beyond just this one story and think about the bigger picture. In a world that so often ignores breakthrough ideas until they're packaged up and sold, is a direct, unapologetic invoice the only language that power will ever truly understand? It's a huge question about innovation, recognition, and what we actually value.